I guess I'm on my own. I am Rudolf Püschel. I'm a retired scientist, and since my retirement, or beginning before my retirement, I began to study history of in connection with expulsion. I want to thank Anne Morrison for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here. I am quite impressed with the display, exposition, documentation, and I hope the organizers realize that the importance of this documentation has increased. About 3 weeks ago, when Erika Steinbach decided to give up her seat and voice in a center for expulsion that's being constructed in Germany. I'm also impressed time and again when I attend those conferences by the fate some people have experienced. I myself am an expellee also, but my fate is a breeze compared to what other people have experienced. My major problem was to give up a little dog, which is nothing compared to losing a child, for example. But it's been a cruelty to animal which is without comparison, I believe, in history. My dog was one of millions of pets that had to be abandoned and were lost to their fate. I am also some exception to the rule by looking back to my career. I have made a career out of my expulsion, I feel. I look back to a fairly satisfying career as a government scientist. Not a perfect career, mind you. I never got close to a Nobel Prize in physics, but a satisfying career. And the alternative would have been to inherit a factory or a farm in Bohemia and manage one or the other. And I can't tell or prove that it had been less satisfying. But had I had a choice early in life between a career as a scientist in the United States or a farmer in northern Bohemia, I would without doubt have chosen the career of a scientist. Now to my presentation. There has been a little mix-up in communication. Czechoslovakia and the Steinbach problem are mutually exclusive. Steinbach's problem was not with the Czechs. The Czechs were amazingly quiet, but with the Poles mainly. But since Czechoslovakia was mentioned, I just want to add to what Dr. Sunic said yesterday. It was a multiple people state created from a bigger multiple people state. And the problems that Austria-Hungary faced were not much different from the problems that Czechoslovakia faced after its creation. The composition of population was, there were 51.1% Czechs, just about a little bit than 50%, 22.5% Germans, 15.7% Slovaks, 4.8% Hungarians, 3.8% Russians, and 0.7% Poles. So you have 7 different nationalities placed in one new state named Czechoslovakia. And up to this point, the only nationality that was accused of being nationalistic were the Germans. And they were claimed to have contributed to the destruction of Czechoslovakia in 1938. But as of last September, one Mary Hyman, an American teaching in Scotland and being married to a Czech with a German name, has come out with a book entitled Czechoslovakia, the State That Failed. And in this book, she destroys the myth of the little exemplary state deeply rooted in democracy, liberty, humanity, that was abandoned twice by her Western allies in 1938 and by her socialist brethren in 1968, and so badly suppressed by the Germans between 1938 and 1945. Instead, she shows that Czech and Slovak nationalism, as bad as German nationalism, caused the state her problems and caused it finally to fail. The State That Failed is a title or subtitle. And in the book, she proves beyond any doubt, I believe, that the whole state was a fraud from the very beginning. It's a Yale University publication. It has some significance behind it, and it's worth reading and worth being considered as one of the history books in the future. Now to my main topic, which is the Steinbach controversy in Europe for the past 10 years. I'd like to read you a quote. Where in the world has one ever seen a nation that erects memorials to immortalize its own shame? It is ascribed to the Zionist and former Israeli ambassador to Germany, Avi Primor, and it was quoted in Time magazine on February 11, 2008. One of the latest memorials to shame that Germany has been building is this decade-long controversial debate between the German Bund der Vertriebenen, or Covenant, or Federation of Expellees, chaired by Erika Steinbach on one side, and the governments of Poland and Germany on the other. And within 10 years, there had been various coalitions in Poland and in Germany, 3 in Germany, Red-Green, Social Democrats, and Green coalition between 2000 and 2005, Christian Democrat, Social Democrat coalition from 2005 to 2009, and a civic coalition between the Free Democrats and the Christian Democrats since 2009, last fall. And all of these coalitions have opposed the Federation of Expellees' attempt to create a memorial commemorating the fate of 16 million Germans with 2.5 million dead. It all began in March 1999 when the board of the Covenant of Expellees decided to go ahead with plans for a central body documenting the post-World War II expulsions of Germans. The Federation of Expellees is a German non-governmental head organization of various organized groups of German refugees and expellees. The Federation is committed to document the post-World War II flight and expulsion of Germans, as well as other forced displacement, and maintains an exhibition for this purpose shown in varying locations in Germany. To expand this exhibition and to find a permanent place for it, on 6 September 2000, the Federation set up a foundation center against expulsions. Now, please realize there was one non-governmental organization, the Federation of Expellees, against 2 governments of 2 fairly big European states. And they fought them and lasted 10 years, which is due to the efforts of one